There's a new emerging consumer group, the newly affluent Millennials. We refer to them as emerging luxury consumers for our brand. Over the course of the next 5 to 10 years, they're going to be the recipients of the largest intergenerational transfer of wealth ever known. They're going to use that money to purchase homes. I think there's a lot of misleading information about millennials, the idea that they are all going to live with their parents until they're 40. They want to live in a yurt in the hills of California somewhere. And yes, there are a lot of people doing that, but because that demographic is just so large, there are also a lot of them that are going to buy homes. What's different is their journey. So how they connect with brands, the meaning they associate with the brands they align with, the brands they aspire to interact with. And so I think we have a really unique opportunity to connect with them at the beginning of the journey, so in the inspiration phase. Historically, real estate brands were transactional. They were less about building a relationship with consumers. The philosophy behind our current approach is to connect with consumers in a way that speaks to them and says, we're going to be there for your first home purchase, your second, as your family grows and expands, or you downsize when your kids go off to school, retirement homes, vacation homes. We want to be there to build the entire package for you. And I think that is a different approach. I think certainly the emerging luxury consumer holds the traditional luxury brands in very high regard still. How they relate to them is what's different. So if you go back to the 80s and 90s and think of luxury retail, I always refer to it as sort of the Dallas and Dynasty era of luxury, where it was really almost about bragging rights. You were acquiring goods. You didn't have 3 amazing cars, you had 25 cars in a 25-car garage. There were almost bragging rights to the volume of luxury goods that you have. That behavior is what has really changed. There's a lot more emphasis on the quality of the goods, the history of the goods, the craftsmanship that goes into their manufacture. So this idea of heritage and tradition is more and more important. Sotheby's has a 270-year history via our association with the auction house. There's a recognizability to it, but it has to matter to them, and we have to make it relevant. I think my deeper interest was in helping fix a broken system. And that has kind of become this common thread that has run through all of my career moves, this idea of trying to connect with consumer groups, figure out the systems to make it work most effectively. And I actually grew up on a dairy farm in southern Ontario. I was inspired to become an art teacher. So I was recruited in 2000 to come to New York City and bring new ideas and fresh ideas and try to figure out how to reconnect with an audience, which was the students in New York City. Whether I'm trying to convince kids to show up at school or consumers to buy luxury homes, some of the challenges are surprisingly similar.